Hi, and welcome back to Plastic Models by Regular Dude and part number 2 of the Tamiya 120 scale Honda RA272. In this episode, we're actually going to get started on building this here kit. So, first things first. Step 1. Engine assembly. So I got all these parts here, so I'm going to start cutting stuff off and getting it cleaned up. So we need parts D1 and D2. And we'll go on from there. Alright, so I got these parts cut off for the first sub-assembly of step 1. And what I normally do, so I can like cut them off, clean them all up at the same time, like if they're similar parts but they have different part numbers, so it depends on what side they're on, I just do it like the illustration. Got this part here, then these two parts are on the left like the illustration, these two parts are on the right like the illustration. So what I want to do is I want to do all these sub-assemblies, get everything cleaned up, have it ready for a paint, because a lot of these first few steps with the engine and the suspension and mounts and stuff like that that's attached to it are all pretty much just a couple of colors. We've got the XF16, which is an aluminum color, which is basically everything in this sub-assembly. And then we have XF16 and a mix of X11 and X12 for certain parts. So that's just basically two colors I need to spray. And then the same here, all of this sub-assembly is X18. Then we got X18, and then the X11, X12 mix. So I want to get as much assembled as possible before I start spraying stuff, so I can spray more stuff at the same time, save me having to clean the airbrush and all that kind of stuff. I'm using Tamiya Extra Thin to glue this together. And start here. Why? Just because. No other reason than because. Probably have to do a little bit of sanding. May have to do some clamping as well. Fortunately, this glue works pretty quick. Now, what I'm going to have to look at, see, I'm not, like I say, I'm not an automotive builder like aircraft armor. I know where natural seam lines are, where parts come together, because a lot of times manufacturers try and mold joints according to natural seam lines, especially on newer kits. But automotive stuff, I'm just not that well versed in, so we'll have to see how that works out. So this part right here has got a little bit of a gap, so I'm gonna have to clamp that. Glue it on the sides. Basically, it's just a matter of squeezing that together like that. So let me squeeze it with my mitt here. A little bit of glue. Clamp that thing like that. And then I'm going to clamp this side just to make sure nothing pops apart. Good old clothespins, or clothes pegs, as I think our brothers across the water call it. Okay, so there's that. So now I can glue these together here, and they go like, let's see, so we got that, yeah, these. Yep, this goes like that. There, there. So I'll do the same with this other one. All right, so I'm ready to start gluing this stuff together. First, we got a little bit of mold seam lines along the bottom edge of these. I'm assuming they are the cylinder heads. So I need to sand those smooth. Make sure there's no burrs on the outside edge. Then we can glue them on. So the nice thing is, even if you do mix these up, they'll only fit one way because of slots and pegs. See, it won't fit on this one. It will, however, fit on this one. So that's kind of cool. So let's get this lined up. Got a little bit of a lip here, so I need to get rid of that. And then we can glue it on. So I'm gonna hold it right there. It's a pretty positive fit, so that's cool. Let's see how they fit on there together. Yeah, that's pretty good. So let's see how this looks in place. Yep, looks good. So we will start with this one here. So one thing to note, I don't know if it's because of the color of this plastic, because they molded it in this faux aluminum color, but it seems kind of, I don't know if soft is the right word, or maybe rubbery. It's almost like it's got a bit of vinyl to it or something. It's kind of weird when cutting and sanding it. I mean, it cuts and sands okay, it just doesn't feel the same as regular styrene plastic. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe it's just because of the type of material it is. So let's glue this one here. Once we got those glued, so I'm gonna let those dry for a minute, and then I'm gonna start working on gluing these other parts in place. Another nice thing, you can't mix up these parts because they look pretty similar. There's some little detail differences, but other than that, they look pretty close. However, there's an extra pin right there, and that fits there. So all you have to do is make sure you got the right one in there, and it will fit thusly. But there's a little bit of a nub on there, so cut that off. And then, whoops, glue it in place, hopefully. There we go. So that one fits there. This one fits here. Some glue on it, and I'm going to clamp it. Now the fit on this, although good, is somewhat imprecise. I don't know if it's just the way this thing is supposed to be, or if it's just a product of the late 90s. So let's squish this all together like that. Okay, now we'll let that dry up. All right, so I'm going to glue this part on top here, And then I need to glue these two parts. So you kind of get an idea of how I do things here as far as cleaning up, cutting the parts off, gluing them together, clamping, whatever I got to do. So I'm going to kind of carry on with step number 1 here. I don't really think it's necessary to show the rest unless something weird pops up, which I don't foresee. And if so, I'll talk about it. But otherwise, I'm just going to continue on putting this together, and then we'll be ready to move on to step 2. All right, so I got all of these parts for step number 2. Ready to go. But before I glue those on here, I need to spray this engine, I think. I need to glue this on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray all the aluminum first on this, and then I will spray the other color that's supposed to be on there, which is that weird bronzy color. I think I'll be able to tape it off, but we'll see. But anyway, all of this here, well, actually, I probably need to paint this before I put it on here, because this underneath here is that weird color. And then these here, these little cylinders, I don't know what they are because I ain't a car person. These cylinders, they're supposed to be aluminum. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to spray that separately. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna look ahead here and see if there's anything else. Okay, so we got some more. Looks like the primary color of all this engine stuff is going to be XF16, which is aluminum. So I think I probably need to fish that stuff. 16 looks like the only part really left. There's this tube here and this tube here. I can't really glue those on until after I have this framework, these mounts or whatever it is, in place. So I think, yeah, it looks like the last of the XF16. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get these ready to paint as well, so that way I can paint all the silver stuff. Then I can mix up some paint and paint these mixed parts. And then I can spray the X18 parts, which is semi-gloss black. So let me get these other parts here prepped, and we'll get ready for those so I can paint them. Since I want to paint as much as I can, I think I'm going to do some more sub-assemblies, at least where I can. So for instance, like some of this stuff I'm going to have to still do separately, but I want to prime, paint as much as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble the exhausts and get those ready to go so I can paint those at the same time as well. And once I do that, I should be good to go. I think I'll get this ready, this and this. Those parts go together there. Get these. Yeah, so I'm just going to get some more of these sub-assemblies ready, get them built so I can prime them. So I'm going to start with these exhaust parts. So we got two B3s, which are these here, and B1, which is this. So I'll have to get those separated. Something else I like to do, and I'm sure a lot of you do it on various and sundry things, but use some drills to hollow out the exhausts. Same as hollowing out machine gun barrels on aircraft or armor models, at least on the older ones that don't get to partake in the benefit of slide mold technology. So anyway, those are hollowed out. I'm ready to start gluing them together. I already glued these together. So they're ready to go. So I can get them over there and get them primed. All right, everything has been painted. These parts black, and these parts the silver, and the this color here. Now this color here is actually supposed to be a mix. As I mentioned, X11 one part, X12 5 parts. One is an aluminum color. Let's see, X11 is actually chrome silver, and X12 is gold leaf, supposed to be mixed together. I did not have gold leaf, and I thought, you know what, the pictures, the photos I've seen of this engine, the model, they generally look too gold, and I looked at some photos of the real engine, and it seems to be a little toned down, maybe not quite this much, but I went with this instead, and I kind of like the looks of it a little bit better. So anyway, with all the parts painted and this part actually fully completed, I can move on and start assembling all these parts for the engine, the mounts, and the exhaust. So I am going to do that. Okay, I just got this part glued on, way off camera here, so I'm going to try and do this in frame. Next is the exhaust. So this has to fit through here, and the three ends of the pipe, the exhaust, fit into the holes right there. If I can get it to go in there and maneuver around without breaking anything, which doesn't seem to be working very easily. There we go. Okay, so maybe there's a hole on the pipe there that fits on a pin right there, but first I need to get these things right here. And I am suffering from a serious lack of cooperation with this pipe. So let's try something else. Let's try it from this direction, like this. There we go. That is the ticket. Maybe. There we go. And then this kind of goes right there like that. Now, yeah. Splendid. So I should have put some glue in there, but I didn't. So let's try and get those out of there without breaking anything. There we go. All right, so we'll use this glue right here. We'll dot in there, dot in there, maybe dot in there. Okay, like that. And we'll reinsert that there. Oh, look there. Boom. And then that is on there like, is that actually on the pin? There it is. Holy smokes. That is joyous. So for that one, I'm going to use the old extra thin, like that. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, after much faffing about, wailing and gnashing of teeth, etc., I got the upper exhaust glued on. The problem is these don't fit really precisely up here. I say it's a problem, not really a problem, more of a challenge. But it doesn't, they don't line up really well, but they have to line up with the exhaust manifold there. So, you know, it takes a lot of pushing them in, tweaking them around, keeping the ones you've already got in still in there, using some tweezers to get the other ones, and it was a little bit rough. And then this was kind of cockeyed, so I had to do a little tweak in there, but finally I got it, and I got this lower support, which is part number B18. I got that installed. So next thing I need to do is I need to install these here, which I don't know what those parts are. Cylinder heads maybe, valve covers maybe, I don't know. But I got to install those. I've got to install this little piece here, D12, D5, and D15. But before I can do D15, I need to do some painting. So that is what I'm going to do. Let's start gluing some of this stuff together. So these two, they're different. This one's got slots in it. This one does not. This one goes on this side here. And I need to put some glue. I'm going to put the glue in here because I don't want to get it smeared around, because it's kind of difficult. I test fitted, and it was just a real chore. So we shall, as they say, put this on here. Wow, first time that time. Nice. Okay, and then I gotta just, it's a pretty tight fit, so gotta really push it down. Okay, so we got that one. Then the other one goes on this side, and the hump part, this like little double hump thing, faces up. So same thing. This one I think I can put the glue on here. Looks like I'm putting a lot on here, but it's because I'm not sure how well it fits. There we go. Then we need to put this thing right here on. I have no idea what it is. We'll call it the filler cap for the oil. What do you think? Is that what it is? I don't know. But I'm going to say yes. Put that there. Then this piece goes here. Maybe. Whoop. Oh, there we go. That's a snug fit. So let's see. A little cement there. A little there. Then this piece here fits. It's got that little kind of squash T-shaped thing that fits right there like that. Something looked crooked, and this side had popped out, so it's fixed. So now it's looking a little more symmetrical. All right, so that finishes up to step 6. And that will end this video. So in this episode, we got steps 1 through 6, which is the entire engine, exhaust, and some other little bits and pieces. So next time we come back, we'll start at step number 7, which says front uprights, and start working on suspension and stuff like that. So that's it for part 2. Thanks for following along. Stick around, and next time we will continue on with the construction of the Honda RA272 in 120 scale by Tamiya. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see some more of this build series, please click the subscribe button if you haven't. If you liked it, hit the like button, blah blah blah. As always, thanks for watching Plastic Models by a Regular Dude, and I will see you on the next one.